believe that I left. They were in the poll room, and then they decided they saw me, they started each other up.
Yep. Awesome. Oh, okay. Perfect, thank you.
Got a lot of backbone.
Okay, we'll call to order the Common Council meeting of Monday, April 7th. Roll call, please.
Amy Johnson. Here. Lee Dashlet.
Here.
Casey Boer.
Here.
Sorry.
Midge Swedberg. Here. Scott Meverden.
Here.
John Ortlieb.
Here.
Kevin Schmidt.
Here.
Alder Wayne Schmidt will not be here tonight.
Thank you. Stand to reflections. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Could you confirm the meeting in compliance with the open meetings law, please?
Yes, it is.
Thank you. Would look for a motion to approve or someone to make changes to the order of the agenda.
Motion to approve.
By Casey, second by John. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carries. Did everybody have a chance to look at the two meeting minutes, March 3rd and March 18th?
I'll make a motion for both of those.
Motion by Kevin,
Second.
second by Midge. Any conversation? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Now it'd be time to meet and swear in our new police officer.
All right. Adrian, if you wanted to come up, Chief Allen, did you want to come up to put on his badge? You can stand right next to Chief Allen there. All right, we have our newest officer tonight, Adrian Jimenez. So let's take your oath of office here, and if you could raise your right hand and repeat after me. I,
I,
Adrian Jimenez,
Adrian Jimenez,
having been elected or appointed
having been elected or appointed
to the office of police officer,
to the office of police officer,
swear
swear
that I will support
that I will support
the Constitution of the United States of America
the Constitution of the United States of America
and the Constitution of the State of Wisconsin,
and the Constitution of the State of Wisconsin,
and will faithfully and impartially
and will faithfully and impartially
discharge the duties of said office
discharge the duties of said office
to the best of my ability.
to the best of my ability.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Awesome. Thank you. Congratulations. And then I'll take that. Mom, if you wanted to step over here and pin, or, yep, that's fine. Step over there and pin on his badge. All right. Congratulations. With all the patrol officers and you.
Congratulations, Adrian.
The tall guy in the middle.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thanks, guys. Then we'll move on to public comment. Is there anybody in the audience that has, I see one. Mike?
Thank you.
Thank you all.
Mike Fraley, Navarino Street here in Algoma. Congratulations, if I may speak on behalf of the American Legion. I'm very fond of the police force we have here in town. I've had some encounters with them in my lack of discretion, let's say, but I found them very forthright, professional, very honest, good people, and I'm proud of them and proud to be in the city where they represent us so well. I mentioned to the council on a previous occasion that along with the cannon that we're going to shortly place in the park, by the way, thanks to the city for removing that tree that was in a bad spot. That tree was bad anyway, but it was kind of in the way of everything. I appreciate that being done. And I mentioned that we are planning on a memorial monument to be erected in the city. Now, we're still in the working stages on that, but in order to facilitate what we're doing, I brought over tonight a miniature model of the memorial that we're looking to construct in Legion Park. On the end of the park where the cannon was sitting in that area, by the big monument that's there, the big flagpole, that's sitting here now will be, well, sorry about that. But the big flagpole that is sitting there now will still be incorporated into the unit. This would be titled Sacrifice. The sculpture and the memorial are dedicated to the soldiers of Kewaunee County and the nation that died defending our country. Its design materials and composition have in mind people of Algoma, the visitors to the area that should be in place for the next 200 years. The design basically, as you can see minimally, is sails. Algoma was a sailing village, was a fishing village. We're close to the water. We're maintaining the water features, hoping to put up the design representing sails for the business of water and fishing. The flag will be mounted in the middle. It'll be in red, white, and blue steel panels that will hopefully be lighted and be very visible when you come down the highway coming into the city or exiting the city going past Legion Park. It'll be very visible right on the end of the park. There'll be a concrete base, possibly incorporating the current monument or changing somewhat the structure of that. I'm going to turn this over a little bit so you can basically see. We'll have a concrete base and a raised piece of concrete on top of that base that would be in the shape of a cross. We're representing God and country, combining together the sacrifices that people have made for the freedoms that we have. Along with the big sails, red, white, and blue, the red sails will match the same red on the Algoma sign as you're coming into town. We thought that would be a nice feature. It would kind of go together and tie the whole project together. Now, this isn't exactly what our cannon looks like, as you're all aware. And again, this is just miniature model, but it'll be sitting kind of on the side of the monument as it's placed pretty much in the area where the flagpole is there now. In addition to that, we have a, not quite like this, but we'll have about a 4-foot high bronze statue of a soldier who's a classic bronze statue of a soldier that'll last for hundreds of years with minimal maintenance. We're going to have it constructed so it'll have minimal maintenance on it. We're working on plans on this now. It'll be a project of the Legion with minimal activity from the city. We're just requesting support from the city, maybe lighting when we get this constructed. But other than that, it'll be a Legion project. And I'm just bringing this forward to show you just a few of the highlights, something that we have in mind. We're looking to enhance the city. I think it would be good representation of the community and good representation of the Legion and all the veterans who live here or pass through. But I'm just bringing this forward again tonight just to show you some of the preliminaries, something that we're working on. We'll be having more features, more detail. We'll have a complete layout project when we get this, get closer to that time. So, thank you for your time. Appreciate all that the city is doing and appreciate the staff who coordinate and work so well for all of us. Thank you.
Thank you, Mike. Anybody else for public comment? Jen?
Hello, I'm Jennifer Highland. I live on 152 Clark Street. Here to speak to the food truck ordinance that is currently being looked at and trying to be passed. I am in favor of it. I just wanted to bring up some things I think should be considered before we push anything through. First off, the dollar amount for the permit, I think $100 is fair. To look at anything more than that, I think is very much a prohibitive to these businesses. So I would hope that we could keep it at something that's very doable for them business-wise. Another thing is I know we're considering making a event kind of pricing aside from doing a whole season for a food truck. I'm in favor of this as well because especially events like Shandy Days and Store on the Shore, these food trucks come from places other than this area. So if they're not going to be here a whole season, $100 isn't necessarily make sense to them either. So if they can be given some sort of leniency with just doing a 2 or 3 day event, that would be awesome. The biggest hindrance though to currently what you guys are proposing is to have them come and actually do a fire safety inspection through the fire department. And that has to be on a separate occasion outside of when they would actually be here to do business. And the biggest problem with this is Shandy Days also. These food trucks come from all over the country. So it does not really, it's not feasible for them to come on a Monday to have this fire inspection done and then do business on Friday or Saturday, et cetera. So even if someone was available to do it on a Friday, we're gonna try and coordinate that with a local fire department, which I don't think is probably makes sense. My proposal is that, so in the restaurant industry, every year we have to work, I'm not in a restaurant anymore, but we had to go through waterfall bans where you had to actually go through an entire inspection where you had to have your fire extinguishers inspected, your ANSEL system, all those things, and that's once a year. I'm proposing that these food trucks have to do the exact same thing, and if they can submit documentation that they've had this done, and it's all up to date, that could actually be in place of this in-person inspection. I guess I would have you guys consider what it is exactly you're looking at as a part of a separate inspection that these companies aren't actually already looking at. They are all held by insurance companies, all those things that they have to inspect and we have to be able to pass is probably darn close to what the fire, the department would be looking at anyway. So it's really a redundancy on your guys' part. And also the $100 doesn't cover your time, I'm assuming, and there's not a lot of people, especially volunteer-wise, right? So on a Friday morning, you get a call and you guys are, no one's available to do these things. So just something to kind of look at and consider. And because there's so many questions with this, I'm proposing to actually hold off on passing anything this year and to possibly really look deeper into it and maybe have our ducks in a row for next year to implement this. It's already May. You guys want to make this permit to be a June, July situation. So I think the biggest thing with Shandy Days is that we're holding off sending contracts out to food trucks, and this is really, they're getting booked up. We're not going to possibly be able to get some of them. Just because we're waiting to see what they have to do. And if they have to come on a separate day, it doesn't work for them, they're not gonna come. So again, I'm in favor of the ordinance. It's every other township is doing it, so that's not what I'm against, but I just wanna look deeper into making it fair for these people and not making it inconvenient. So thank you for your time.
Thank you, Jen. Is there any other public comment? Seeing none, thank you, Bull. We'll move on. Did everyone have a chance to look at the bills and credit card payments? Are there any questions?
I'll make a motion to approve the
Motion by Lee,
credit card payment.
second by Amy. I did have one question. I thought we owned all our fire trucks and there's like a lease payment on a fire truck. What is that? So you don't take that.
All I know is it's lease payment on a fire truck that we share with town of Anna P. You probably know that.
Okay, sorry about that. Yeah, so our newest engine,
engine 610, is shared with the town of Anapee. The agreement when that was purchased with the city of Algoma, and the town of Anapee paid for 50% of that truck. And I believe they pay for, chief, 50% of the maintenance on the truck,
Correct.
as needed.
Everything that goes into that vehicle is split 50/50.
Yeah.
And I believe this was their last payment this year.
Oh, that's an incoming?
Is there one more? Okay. Yes,
That's
that is
incoming?
them paying us
I got you.
back for the lease.
But we're looking at the bills.
Yep, okay, so the
Oh, I'm
check is
sorry, did I
cut for
jump ahead?
100% of the payment, and then we billed the town of Anapee for half of it, which they've paid.
Gotcha. I was just trying to clear up what we owned. Sorry if I got out of line. We have a motion and a second. Do you have them both, Eric?
Yep.
Roll call?
Meverden,
Yes.
Kevin Schmidt,
Yes.
Dashlet,
Yes.
Johnson,
Yes.
Hoare,
Yes.
Ortlieb,
Yes.
Swedberg.
Yes.
Thank you. Conference attendance, I think Casey already spoke to this once or twice.
Make a motion to approve.
Motion by Scott,
Second.
second by Casey. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carries. Then all of the committee reports,
So moved, Mr. Mayor. Second.
moved by Kevin and second by Scott to accept. Any comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carries. Any license applications, Karen?
None at this time.
Then old business. First one is the fire rescue building. Matt, you want to update that at all?
Yeah, so just a couple of things here, and some discussion to come a little later on in the meeting. But there will be now, not paper copies, but I'd like to put, this isn't the full plan, obviously. I'd like to put a copy, there will be a copy digitally to everybody every month. There shouldn't be anything changing on it any longer, but just so everybody has a set of plans and they can kind of see moving forward, you know, that this is what it is and this is what we're working on going out to bid. So if anybody has any questions, feel free to let myself or the chief know. But I just wanted to get that out to everybody so they kind of have a copy. I know everybody has seen it once. There's a couple things, if you notice, the door schedules have changed a little bit, but very minor things. Doors that swung left or right, some walls. The footprint of the general building though has stayed the same. So, does anybody have any questions on that?
So Matt, this is what they're using to go out to bid, and did
This is the plan.
Jim give you any timeline as far as prelims coming back?
We're gonna talk about that a little later. Any other questions? Okay.
Do you want to do the administration, please?
Yes, so same thing with the admin building. You will have a copy of the admin building. This is currently what they are working on. Myself and the mayor talked with Jim Price this morning, and Jim is saying in 7 days we should have our estimated numbers back. We don't currently yet to date, but I'm hoping by this time next week we do have those numbers. As soon as we do have those numbers, we will get them out at the next meeting or as soon as possible. So, and that again on the admin building, that is just a estimated number that they're giving us to start working what direction we're going. That is not out to bid. Anybody have any questions about that?
What is the estimated, sorry, where was the estimated number?
I'm hoping to have it. Bayland is
Oh,
saying that they
okay.
will have us that number within
You
7
don't have it
days.
yet.
That is correct. All right.
And then finally, the new mobile food establishment ordinance, second reading. Somebody want to hit the high points or?
I can. So based off of our conversation at the last meeting, no changes were made to this mobile phone ordinance. I think I asked a couple times during that meeting, nobody wanted anything changed. So tonight, this ordinance is before you to have the final reading and adoption.
I'd like to propose a change. after feedback, and that was something we discussed at the last couple of meetings regarding the inspection. I do think it is somewhat foolish for them to travel all the way into town, for a separate inspection. Liability was something that we were concerned with, I believe that we checked into it. But I'd like to propose taking the fire inspection out of the ordinance and having, their third party or through the state inspection reloaded, and something that they could admit or submit at the time of their application. So it's something they could do electronically or send in through the mail.
How does this work if they're not from Wisconsin?
They would have to get it inspected in their state. I would lean on chief. Every state would need to submit or have fire inspections,
Okay.
correct?
I can't speak
If
to
we
that.
say
Yeah,
that
I don't know enough about like Texas
We-
to
we
say
were-
that they do this.
they would need to provide an accredited fire inspection through a third party, whether it's through the state. I know Ricky Merrill, Jen, when she was up here, mentioned a couple of them that do those. But I would propose that we put the verbiage in there that would suffice. And keep the fees as is
And they can just email that to us at their convenience?
at the time of submission.
Okay.
When they apply for their license.
Okay.
So basically, proof of insurance, however they get it accredited through a state or something.
Proof of
like that.
insurance.
Is that what you're-
Insurance or
Insurance and
inspection?
inspection, fire inspection. Fire inspection.
Sorry.
Insurance is separate, that's something
Yeah,
that they
yeah,
already have to
sorry.
provide. Proof of an accredited annual fire inspection. Keeping the fees the same, I think that if.
Scott, can you repeat that again? Proof of annual
Proof of annual fire inspection,
accredited?
accredited fire inspection, yes.
And Jamie, what did you add to that?
So maybe it should be unexpired or current.
Current, annual.
Yeah.
I would just put in there fire suppression. Fire suppression. Inspection. Fire suppression system inspection.
Ah, you're adding words.
Or
All right, proof of annual current accredited fire suppression system inspection.
correct.
Upon that, with their, while
Yep.
submitting for their license.
Okay,
Application.
and what, does anybody know what section this is?
E.
E.
And
And
if
that's,
it's just a question of clarification, if it comes from a different state and it doesn't meet our criteria, then it's just gonna get denied?
Either that or they should make it, get inspected in town here by the, just, like you do a building or whatever, do your inspection, and if you just don't think it's possible, then you're done. But I mean, it'd be a temporary thing for them. I mean, I would almost think every state has inspections for restaurants.
I think where you're going is for the state of Wisconsin, should for the state of Wisconsin be included in the verbiage? I think that's where you're going with that.
So, well, that's my question, is does it have to be a Wisconsin or could it be any state?
I would think it could be any state.
Any state.
I mean, all states are gonna do pretty much the same thing. And first of all, and second of all, I don't think we're gonna get that many people up here from Texas to do
So
this.
back to 2 weeks ago, we're gonna rewrite our ordinance over one weekend a year. That's what I'm asking.
I'm not talking about one weekend a year. Absolutely not.
Okay, so this is 208, 204E. Instead of it saying proof of inspection by the City of Algoma Fire Department, it will say proof of annual current accredited fire suppression system inspection.
No, I don't want to belabor the point. Maybe there is one, and even if there isn't, or the chances are slim, right? But what if they're not the same? What if it's not universal? Like, how do we know that? How do we dictate? If I come from Massachusetts with a truck and it has a different, maybe Massachusetts is the wrong example. I come from Mississippi with a truck and their standards are X, right? How do we know that there's an inconsistency? Who is the burden on to then make that kind of equivalent?
I don't disagree, Casey. I don't know how often it's actually going to happen, and if adding the verbiage at the end of in the state of Wisconsin, accredited in the state of Wisconsin is something that the body feels comfortable doing, I don't have a problem with that verbiage being added.
And they can just go to a state of Wisconsin person to inspect it, like Fort Paul or whatever, and they can get their certification to work in our state. You can add that, that's no issue.
They'd have to come up earlier and do it, so do the thing that we were,
Well,
and I'm fine with it, but the point is, I'm not looking necessarily to avoid that, but I mean, to Jen's point and her comment, if it is in fact redundant, I appreciate that. I just wanna make sure that as long as that verbiage, right, that we're including, has us lacking any liability, right? If it has us covered, if that's acceptable, if that's the translation and that makes sense, I don't have an issue with it. I'm fine with it. I just wanna make sure that that's
Can I ask a question? In their application, could we put the whatever Wisconsin's?
NFPA 1, I think is what it should say.
Yeah, could we give them that and they have to be inspected wherever to that?
It's already in the ordinance.
it's already in there.
So then would that not?
They have to comply with NFPA 1 is actually written in the ordinance already.
The redundant inspection is,
So then the city clerk is just gonna say, yep, it meets the criteria?
if they provide all of the critical data,
Okay.
it's no
So we're
different.
putting all of this on the city clerk to say this is okay. She's
Well, all
gonna do
she's
the fire
doing is checking,
inspection.
she's not saying it's okay, she's saying the paperwork is okay.
They provided
But is she,
a valid fire
she's gonna have to call the chief to get him to look at it because she's not a firefighter and she doesn't have the classes to verify it.
Well, she's not doing an inspection, Lee, she's just okaying the paperwork saying.
Paperwork, yeah.
Okay, hold on, Jennifer, do you have something about fire inspections that you know firsthand?
Well, when you go through those companies to get your inspection done, they give you a work order of what exactly they did. So you can have them, it comes with, that's the evidence that you had it done as well as an invoice saying it was done. So you can ask for that work order and it's itemized exactly what they did. So even if it's another state, they're gonna have that, you ask for that. Just an itemized bullet point, what they checked off. Insurance companies will insure these trucks if they don't have this stuff anyway. So, and we're already collecting insurance information from all the food trucks, so yeah.
Thank you.
that should be incumbent on the truck though. It shouldn't be like she shouldn't have to chase whether or not the right information is there. Like that information should be like, this is what you need on there, and then it has to be there. If it's not there, if any information is absent, it should get pushed back. But I don't think that this is putting that much more of an onus on the clerk any more than when she does, let's say, liquor licensings and whatnot, right? She has to go through, look at backgrounds, right? And if you have this certification that says it's certified, all she is checking is, do they have the submitted paperwork? Is it current? Unless I'm missing something.
And that's fine.
Okay.
My question is that is the process we want to use, is just say the clerk is gonna look at this and say, they've produced all the paperwork, whether it's out of Houston, Texas, or Mississippi, and we're gonna say that's good. That's my question.
Well, you're saying it in a way that you already have an answer.
I
So,
don't have
okay,
the, I'm asking if that's how the process is gonna be.
It seems like a not unreasonable way to.
It's not at all,
to do
I'm not saying it is.
Right, as long as.
I'm okay with it.
Okay.
I'm asking if that's what we're asking. And if they don't meet the criteria, then the clerk is also just gonna say, no, you are denied.
That, I mean, right.
Right?
That would be, right, there's a checklist, you need 6 things.
That's
those
what I'm
6
asking.
things-
they need to comply with NFPA 1, whatever it may be.
And I think in an instance like that, one of the things that we had some concern about was all this coming in for an event on a Friday afternoon and trying to find somebody available. Where if they get this to the clerk in a timely manner and she has some questions, then it's easier for us to accommodate rather than, okay, I'm gonna get to town at 6 o'clock Friday night and we're starting on Saturdays. For us to have somebody available at 6 o'clock on a Friday night is gonna be a challenge. Where this way, if they have the permitting stuff submitted, where we can review it in advance if she has some questions, that gives us more flexibility to accommodate.
Where she's gotta understand, she can call you,
Right.
look at it and say, no, she
Right,
exists.
right, and if I have questions, I have resources that I can reach out to, you know, to answer those questions.
I think it would behoove us then to add the chief's signature or the assistant chief, whoever, to the application after mine, that this has been looked at by someone who has the qualifications to look at it.
That's fine. I mean, we do that for our fireworks permits every year, so, I mean, and Aaron is great with letting me know in advance, well enough in advance, you know, so that, again,
That's,
we can
that's a good
accommodate that.
point. That's a good point, Darren. Can I add that to my? Can you add the verbiage?
Yep. And we don't need to add the verbiage to the ordinance, we'll just add it to the application.
Can I just, because how long in advance, Aaron, do we have in there to, I mean, do you have to have this submitted a week prior to, is
Yes.
that what it is, 7 days, 5 days?
Yeah, 5 to
Yeah.
7 days before.
And then, yeah, we can make that work.
So are we looking to belabor this another month, delay the second reading? Do we wanna make a motion to amend 208, 204E, and approve it? Do you wanna see this at the, like at the next council meeting, which would be the reorg meeting, like after the reorg meeting? Where are we standing with this?
I would make a motion, I mean, my motion was to amend it and go forward.
Second is motion.
Motion by Scott, second by Kevin. Any other discussion?
Okay, just to make sure that I have
I was
it.
gonna say, yeah.
All right, so I have a motion by Meverden and a second by Kevin Schmidt to amend section 28-204, item E, from proof of inspection by the City of Algoma Fire Department to proof of annual current accredited fire suppression system inspection. And then this will complete the second reading of the ordinance.
In a roll call vote, please.
John Ortlieb?
No.
No?
No.
Kevin Schmidt?
Yes.
Swedberg?
Yes.
Hooer?
Yes.
Dashlet?
Yes.
Johnson?
Yes.
Meverden?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you. Then under new business, the first resolution, amending the 2025 fee schedule for the mobile food establishments. Do you wanna just?
Sure, so this goes right along with the mobile food establishment. The fees that were proposed were $100 for an annual. If you look at your fee schedule in front of you, we'll be moving up that expires annually on June 30th, just moving that up a line so it goes with the annual one. So the annual fee is $100. The mobile food establishment for the 3 consecutive day permit is $60. And then the mobile food establishment reissuance per occurrence, so they would be basically adding another location where they'd look to serve, is $15.
Any questions on that?
We're changing the verbiage on the proof of inspection, adding the signature.
No, we're on the
Next
resolution.
one, fee, $100.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Jumped ahead.
I make a motion to approve the fee schedule for the mobile food establishment.
Motion by Lee,
Second.
second by Casey. Any other conversation with Scott? Roll call for that, please.
Dashlet,
Yes.
Ortlieb,
No.
Hooer,
Yes.
Johnson,
Yes.
Wayne Schmidt, sorry, not here, Swedberg,
Yes.
Meverden,
Yes.
Kevin Schmidt.
Yes.
Motion carries 6-1.
Thank you. And then the resolution 1223, 2025, the Knowles Nelson Stewardship Program support. Matt, you wanna?
Yes, has everybody had a chance to look over this? So this is support to the Knowles Nelson grant that's due to expire in 2025 here. For those that don't know, and it says it later down in the resolution, but the Knowles Nelson grant, the city of Algoma has taken advantage of in different processes or different things throughout the city to the tune of over $375,000, dating all the way back to some dredging that has been done, the Anape State Trail, the Crescent Beach Boardwalk. They've been we've received some money through a grant, through the Knowles Nelson grant for that. The parking lot when it was done in the marina, and also they put some money towards the restrooms down in the marina when that facility was built. So I'm going back a couple of years, but like I said, $375,479 that they've contributed. This would be signing a letter of resolution, a letter of support to continue the Knowles Nelson grant. And also now there's some potential that being an Ice Age Trail community that we could benefit some dollars, maybe not just impacted here, right here in the city of Algoma, but on the whole Ice Age Trail throughout the state. So.
And make a motion to approve resolution 1223-2025.
Second. Motion by Casey and second by Scott. And roll call for that here.
Johnson,
Yes.
Dashlet,
Yes.
Kevin Schmidt,
Yes.
Meverden,
Yes.
Swedberg,
Yes.
Boer,
Yes.
Ortlieb.
Yes.
Thank you. The next one, resolution 1224-2025, setting April 26th as 2025 as World Migratory Bird Day in the city of Algoma. Aaron, you wanted to speak to that?
Sure. So the resolution is before you, it comes before you every year, as setting a date in April as World Migratory Bird Day in the city of Algoma. The city is a bird city Algoma, so this does benefit us. It does help the city when it comes to grants and that kind of stuff. Just before you pass that, I just wanted to read a brief thing here from Bird City, and Kathy Pavick was here, so she might add some stuff on it. Just letting you know that the Algoma World Migratory Bird Day celebration is on Saturday, April 26th from 9 a.m. until 2 p.m. at the Algoma High School. This is a free event hosted by the Bird City Algoma Committee. It supports Algoma's Bird City, Wisconsin status. The theme, Shared Spaces, Creating Bird-Friendly Cities and Communities, features presentations by wildlife photographer John Walsh, invasive species expert Valerie O'Connor, and Lake Michigan Bird Observatory Community Conservation Assistant Mabel Kirst. Matt Murphy will provide information about Algoma restoration projects, and Friends of Crescent Beach Crescent Crew leader Debbie Kudrowski will discuss invasive plant control at Crescent Beach. You can enjoy live bird encounters at the Raptor Education Group booth, displays by local organizations, items for sale, storytelling by children's book author illustrator Janet Klahach-Schmidt, food and refreshments. He's excited for his presentation.
Just found out about it.
For more information, you can visit the Bird City Algoma Facebook page for details. So after we would approve this resolution, if that's how you so choose tonight, I'd like to ask if you could ask if Kathy Pavick had anything else to add.
Yeah, Jan or Kathy, if you want to add anything
Great job,
before.
Aaron. Thank you to Community Development Committee for annually providing the annual application rules and for Bird City Algoma. So thanks for everything the community does.
There is also a World Migratory Bird Day pamphlet in your packets. It's also on the city website, and I know that they're doing a few social media blasts as well. So we would just be looking for a motion to adopt that resolution.
I'll move approval of resolution 1224-2025, setting April 26th as World Migratory Bird Day.
Second.
Motion by Amy and second by John. We'll do a roll call on that too.
Okay, Swedberg,
Yes.
Kevin Schmidt,
Yes.
Dashlet,
Yes.
Johnson,
Yes.
Meverden,
Yes.
Boer,
Yes.
Ortlieb.
Yes.
Thank you. Resolution 1225-2025 would be a memorandum of understanding with Algoma Venture Academy in Newman Park. Casey?
Yeah, you guys saw this plan at the finance personnel meeting. It went through the Parks Committee, it was approved there. The school is looking for a MOU to start the process of getting some engineering stuff done, as well as purchasing some stuff such as a gazebo, some benches, and getting that project.
I have a side question for you.
Yeah.
They're gonna do fruit trees in there. And fruit trees are a 50-50 chance of being a good tree if you don't prune them every year. Who's gonna Are we gonna do that or hire it out?
They
Is there
wanna
a
do
plan?
some of that.
I just don't want it to end up to be a big stick.
I know they wanna be
Most
hands-on.
cities, the mayor does it. Yeah, good.
That's a good idea.
They do wanna be hands-on as much as they can, even
Okay.
with the upkeep, so, depending on what, like if they can use, clippers or something, they'll do it, but otherwise,
But it's been thought of, I
Yes.
guess would be my point.
Yep.
Thank you.
I'll move approval of resolution 1225-2025, the memorandum of understanding with the Algoma Venture Academy for Newman Park.
I'll second it.
Motion by Amy, did you have a question?
No, I was gonna do the thing that Amy did.
And Lee seconded it.
I'm sorry, did you raise your hand?
No, I prepared
We
myself.
had eye contact, but that was.
The ends is really what's important.
Roll call, please.
Dashlet,
Yes.
Wark,
Yes.
Kevin Schmidt,
yes.
Johnson,
Yes.
Meverden,
Yes.
Swedberg. Yes. Bartley.
Yes.
Thank you. And next would be a proclamation 2025-01 Arbor Day, April 25, 2025.
So the proclamation before you just sets April 25th, 2025 as Arbor Day in the city of Algoma.
Make a motion to approve 2025-01.
Scott,
Second.
second by Casey, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Next would be the Tourism and Promotion Commission 2025, the budget and the room tax, which are both separate. Matt or Casey, would one of you like to?
Casey, do you want to speak to
address any
this,
of
or?
that?
Yeah, but I can touch on a couple things. You'll see in the packet, there's 4 pages. The first one is the breakdown of the budget. It kind of tracks to how it has in the past years. There's one line item in particular, you might see the Discover Wisconsin TV Ice Age Trail, $10,000. It's actually, it will be I think a 30-minute program where they're doing features on 4 different communities, Ice Age Trail communities. They'll be in town this year, and they'll be either fall or early next year will start to be broadcast. So it'll be kind of like touching on it, but then seeing it. It's nice because ours runs through the downtown, so it will also be kind of a commercial for the city. The third page you'll see is in kind of early in the process when we were trying to get the Tourism and Promotion Commission commissioned. The issue was what tasks, what roles had to be done, and you'll see in that 2025 advertising aid, Algoma Tourism, it kind of lists down what we're accountable for and when we're accountable for it, and it's just basically a note in there so the city knows, so anybody that we're to pick up, let's say for whatever reason the commission got completely overhauled, they would know where to go forward on it. Included also is just a note on, there's a new event promotion category we have. And so if you let's say you create an event and then you do some advertising outside of the area, you can actually submit documentation to the commission to get reimbursement for it. And that's been there for a while. It's just, I think that the process hasn't been that known. So if anybody has an event that they're going to be doing, in the packet there's information, or you can reach out to the city. And then we're maintaining the 6% for reasons. Lee has included a letter in here. I think that there's some things that aren't necessarily, appropriate necessarily for this type of thing. The points he had made in here sound like things that you had started working on. We were talking about, like, we can't verify how much we are in fact not getting in, right? We were working on that process. And if anything, it sounds like, if it's that pressing, perhaps it should be done more or sooner than reconvening in October, if the commission really needs to do it. I know that summer's hard for them, but if that's something, if they want to have an ongoing conversation, if it's a big issue for them, potentially that's something they could work on through the summer. But the gist of it is basically, we looked at where we're going and we decided to maintain the 6%. There's been a greater commitment to digital advertising, and so we're going to have a better understanding potentially of where we get hits from versus like the traditional kind of paper and other medias that you can't really verify. So long story short, budget there 6% is the recommendation to remain as this accommodations tax. Sorry about that.
Thank you. Matt, did you have anything to add?
I do not. I think Casey covered
I
it
think you did well.
quite well.
That's good, you're like.
All right, so we'll be looking for two motions. First would be the budget itself, to approve it.
So moved, Mr. Mayor.
By Kevin,
I'll second it.
second by Lee. Roll call for that.
All right, so approving the receipt of the budget was made by Kevin Schmidt and seconded by Lee Dashlet. For
Yes.
Ortlieb,
Yes.
Kevin Schmidt,
Yes.
Dashlet,
Yes.
Johnson,
Yes.
Swedberg,
Yes.
Meverden.
Yes.
Thank you. And then I would need a second motion to approve the 6% room tax, the recommendation for the room tax.
Motion. No, go ahead.
Motion to approve.
Yeah, go
By
second.
Scott, second by Casey.
Sure.
Roll call for that, please.
For
Yes.
Swedberg,
Yes.
Johnson,
Yes.
Kevin Schmidt,
Yes.
Dashlet,
Yes.
Meverden,
Yes.
Ortlieb.
Yes.
Next would be 3 rezoning ordinances. Do you need to take them separately?
Yes, we'll take them one at a time.
Ordinance 850 rezone 208, I'll just let you take off with that.
Yep, so ordinance to rezone 208 Steel Street. The parcel number is built into the ordinance that everybody has in front of them. That was currently zoned C1 when it was a private-owned property. This is a staff recommendation of the Plan Commission, and Plan Commission sent it here to the City Council for full adoption. We would be changing that to P at public to meet the zoning now that it is owned by the city. Does anybody have any questions about that?
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Kevin, second by Mitch. Any other conversation? You want to take the motion all together, or do you want those separate as well?
Could I just ask one thing? With your ordinances, we typically do first and second readings. Being that these are so, I don't want to say basics, but basic, we have to change the zoning on them. Could we amend the motion to waive the first reading and go right to the second reading?
Yeah, do that. Sounds good.
Motion by Kevin, second by Mitch. All in favor of that?
Aye.
Constitutionally, can
Oh,
we
wait,
do that?
one moment, can we have a roll call?
You want to roll call on that?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
Okay,
Constitutionally, can we do that?
yes.
Sure.
We have the right to waive
Yep.
first, second reading.
We can.
Yes.
We've done it before.
Okay, so we have a motion by Kevin Schmidt, second by Mitch Swedberg for ordinance 850 as it relates to 208 Steel Street. We'll be waiving the first reading, going right to the second. Dashlet,
Yes.
Swedberg,
Yes.
Johnson,
Yes.
Ortlieb,
Yes.
for
Yes.
Kevin Schmidt,
Yes.
Meverden.
Yes.
Sorry about that, Aaron. So you want to add that second reading thing into every ordinance, correct? For
Yeah.
the motion?
Yeah.
Gotcha, please. I was doing it separately.
That's
Okay, so then ordinance 851 rezone 289 4th Street.
Yes, so 289 4th Street, if everybody looks at the map, that was the Bearcat property, which would have been the property on the corner of State Highway 42 or 4th Street and the corner of Navarino and County S. The property owner now, currently the new property owner, owns all 3 of these parcels. So the 2 that I'm gonna call run north and south, and then the one that's highlighted runs east and west. The property that runs east and west that is highlighted was zoned C4. The other 2 properties were zoned C1. Because of his plans and what he's doing on that property, we would look to change them, this one from C4, that they would all meet C1. And combine all 3 of the parcels, is what's being done. So this is, again, staff recommendation brought up through the Plan Commission and now to the council for adoption. Does anybody have any questions on that property?
Do you know what he's doing on
We know what he's doing on
it?
it?
Yes.
It's immaterial to this conversation, but if you want to talk later, yes, we do.
Putting the mini golf back up.
And no, he is not.
I'll make a motion to approve ordinance 851 and waive the second reading.
Second.
Second by Casey. And roll call for that, Aaron.
Swedberg,
Yes.
Johnson,
Yes.
for
Yes.
Ortlieb,
Yes.
Kevin Schmidt,
Yes.
Meverden,
Yes.
Dashlet,
Yes.
And the final rezone ordinance 852-1510 Fremont Street.
That is what was owned by the city of Algoma Long-Term Care, the nursing home. That is still zoned public from when the city still owned it because it was city property. We are looking, getting staff recommendation through the Plan Commission. The Plan Commission adopted that to send it to the council to change that zoning from public as P to R4 residential, and that will meet the other zoning on that block. That does allow, it fits in our zoning to allow a multi-bed facility for a nursing facility. Does anybody have any questions about that?
I'd make a motion to approve ordinance 852 and bypass the second reading.
Second.
Motion by Scott, second by Casey. And roll call.
Dashlet,
Yes.
Swedberg,
Yes.
Johnson,
Yes.
Ortlieb,
Yes.
Boer,
Yes.
Kevin Schmidt,
Yes.
Meverden,
Yes.
Thank you. And then a motion to adopt the city clerk, city treasurer, public services director, and city administrator job descriptions.
I'll move approval of all of those.
I'll second.
By Amy, a motion by Amy, second by Lee. Any questions?
Yes, I have a question, maybe a mute issue, but with the changes now with these two, Kiwani, how does anything need to be written into those job descriptions to cover that, or is that, and then when time's up, they get moved out? Because doesn't it say like 40 hours or,
I think the other duties as assigned covers all of that in the job description.
Anything else? We have a motion and a second, and a roll call, please.
Amy Johnson,
Yes.
Lee Dashlet,
Yes.
Scott Meverden,
Yes.
John Ortlieb,
Yes.
Kevin Schmidt,
Yes.
Casey Boer,
Yes.
Mitch Swedberg,
yes,
Thank you. Administrators report, Matt?
A couple of things here, and then I'm gonna turn it over to Erin, because she has a thing that she's gonna touch base on, but the redevelopment authority block project is still on schedule, everything is going well. Myself, a couple of the guys from the fire department and the fire chief got a brief tour there last week, Friday. To where they're at. I know the chief and Casey are both working with the contractor on getting through their fire protection. They've been up there and they've been in contact with the contractor of where that has to go. The newest update on early to mid-May, we are supposed to, here at the city of Algoma, have a phone number and a contact that they will start the process of accepting applications. Currently, they are shooting for the end of July, early August, now tentatively to start moving people in there. But I'm more, I guess, excited here. We're getting probably 3 to 5 phone calls a week, people asking, are you accepting applications? We're not here at the city of Algoma, but I'm hoping by early May, we will have that phone number to be able to give out to people, how they can get in touch to get an application for renting at that facility. So that is all I have for that. Newest update on the Harbor Wall project. The bids are currently out. They're expected back in the next 30 days for the north wall. So that is moving along. They're looking to award those bids in May and start work on the north wall in late August, early September, is where that is at on the north wall. And before I get ahead of myself with the north wall, Rowan Salvage will be out here spring and restart, I guess I should say, finishing the work on the south wall to pour that concrete top and get that side of it finished up. So that's where that is. The election, I just want to touch base on the Algoma election and the Kiwani elections. I think both went very well. We've had a very good turnout. for people that come out and vote, and thank all the city staff and the poll workers for making those elections go as smooth as they did. So thank you, everybody, to that. With that being said, Aaron has a touch on a couple of things.
The reorg meeting or not? You wanna touch on that?
Oh, I apologize, reorg, April 15th. Because of the reorg meeting out in front of the finance and personnel meeting, can we move that meeting up to 4:30 PM? Does that work for everybody, or does it not work for somebody? There would be the reorg meeting on April 15th at 4:30, and then we would move directly into the finance and personnel meeting, like we always have in years past.
Works for me.
Does that work? Then if everybody wants to put in their calendar, we will start at 4:30 instead of 5 o'clock. And we'll do the reorg. As soon as the reorg is done, we'll go directly into the finance and personnel. So, Aaron.
Okay, I have two brief updates. I just got off the phone with our assessor, Alan Sundstrom, right before this meeting. Open book will be held over the phone this year because it is a reevaluation year. Letters will be mailed to the residents 2 weeks prior to open book. A tentative date right now is May 21st, but residents do not need to wait until May 21st to make their phone call to the assessor. When they get their letter, or if they have any questions, they are encouraged to reach out at any time. Alan will be sending me some stuff via email that I will put on the city website, and I will add it to our social media pages. Board of Review is looking to be June 3rd, beginning at 5 PM. It's a 2-hour meeting. These dates are not final. When they are, we'll post them on social media. We'll make sure we bring them up in the meetings, but because he had given me these tentative dates, I just kind of wanted to get them out there. If they're not those dates, they will be very close to those dates.
What was the time?
Board of Review would be 5 PM. I have to call all of the Board of Review members and make sure that I have enough for a quorum prior to that happening. So
I knew it
that's
had to
why.
be after work hours, I was
Yeah.
just wondering what time.
Yep. Any questions on that? And I'll turn it back over to Matt.
I'll put you on the spot.
Go ahead.
And this has nothing to do with the city, but when you're talking to the apartment people, did they give you any idea of the cost?
I do not have.
Okay, I figured that,
direct
but
cost.
I've been asked like 50 times.
The last numbers that we were given, and they change, right? I think it was $675 up to like $1,400. Now, that depends on the 1-bedroom, 2-bedroom, 3-bedroom, or 4-bedroom.
Sure.
And then here again, it's workforce development, so it's income based on your income.
Yep.
So,
Okay, thank you.
does anybody have any questions of anything that I've covered? Hearing no questions, I'd just like to take a moment to thank Alderman Lee Dashlet for his service and commitment and dedication to the city of Algoma. After 12 years of service as an alderman, Lee decided this last year that it is time that he steps aside and lets somebody else take his spot. His service as an alderman began in 2013, if my records are correct. Yeah. Throughout his time on the council, he saw many road projects take place throughout the city. Alderman Dashlet loved to walk the city streets and still does love to walk the city streets, being one of his biggest reasons of running from term to term. Excuse me. To make sure those sidewalks were repaired, replaced in a timely manner. Throughout his span on the council, I've estimated over 10,000 feet of sidewalks have been repaired, replaced, or added into the city of Algoma. It's now a yearly discussion at the capital budget because of Lee's timeline, or Lee's dedication to the sidewalks, to making sure that that has been done in the city and continues to get done. He's been involved in a lot of personnel issues, purchases, new equipment, both big and small. He's chaired the Public Works Committee. Lee also served on the Utility Commission and Planning Commission, to name a few of the accolades. Lee's service to the city reaches beyond his seat on the council. As many of you may know, Lee has served in the city of Algoma as a fireman from August 1991 to August 2016, where he is retired with the city after 25 years in the fire industry. Lee still continues to serve as a member with the fire department with their retirees and still is active with them. With that being said, excuse me. Thank you, Lee, for your commitment, your dedication, your valued input in making the city of Algoma a great place to live and a great base to be. Personally, Lee, thank you very much for your time, sir.
I also would like to thank Lee for everything that he's done, as even personally when I was an alderperson, helping me get acclimated and as the mayor. And I would open the floor for anybody else's comments if you have any.
So Lee has been in a lot of different areas within the city, and he's dedicated himself to public service and to serving this community. I look up to a guy like that for all that he's done.
Can't necessarily add anything to make it better than Matt's speech, but I appreciate the time working together, Lee, and appreciate you setting a good example for all the young up-and-comers to get involved and stay involved, so thank you.
Been a great pleasure working with everybody. Times we didn't agree, but we made it, so.
You did.
I appreciate all my constituents and my board for putting their faith in me and voting for me over the years, and just, it's gonna be hard, but we'll do it.
Thank you, Lee.
Thank you.
All right, any agenda items for the next meeting? Get to Aaron, Jamie, or Matt. Our next meeting will be our reorg meeting, starting at 4:30 now. That is correct. On April 15th. With the regular councils followed, regular council on Monday, May 5th. And then I would be looking for a motion to go into closed session pursuant to Wisconsin statute 19.85, section 1, subsection E, deliberating or negotiating the purchasing of public properties, the investing of public funds, or conducting other specified public business whenever competitive or bargaining reasons require a closed session. And this would be 1515 Sunset Avenue. So moved by John,
Second.
second by Midge, and a roll call, please.
Kevin Schmidt,
Yes.
John Ortlieb,
Yes.
Scott Meverden,
Yes.
Midge Sledberg,
Yes.
Casey Boer,
Yes.
Lee Dashlet,
Yes.
Amy Johnson,
Yes.